Hey friends, welcome back to the garage. I'm going to jump inside the car and I'm going to show you what I like and what I don't like about this new Android audio system I installed in my 2004 Infiniti FX35. There's going to be a lot of sort of looking at the screenshots, so I apologize if that's not interesting. But if you're considering this, you might want to see whether I think it's a good idea for you to do this or not. So I'll also show you this little addition I made to my particular installation. This USB hub is 12 volt powered, and I found one on Amazon. I can leave a link for it, but so it can run off the vehicle power. Most of these run on 5 volts, and I needed something that would run 12 volts. So the system comes with 2 USB ports, and I wanted to be able to connect more than 2 USB items. So I just installed this in the dash. This right here is the tire pressure management receiver. So it stays in here permanently just to get the signal from the tire sensors. Here's standard lightning cable to charge and connect an iPhone. And then here's a media card I have with some music. And then this is part of the factory system. It is the SIM card holder. And that's where I have my SIM card. There's another SIM card slot in the back of the unit. So before I start up, I want to show you just how the unit fits. If you can see here, on my dash, the radio tends to set out in front here a little bit. And as much as I push on it, I can't get it to snap in. There's like 4 spring clips, and they're supposed to engage pieces behind the dash, but I can't get these bottom ones to seat in tight. It looks pretty good, but if you're a perfectionist about fit, you might not like that. This is the home screen of the unit, and as far as I can tell, it's not possible to change this. I asked the vendor if that could be changed to miles per hour, which is what we use in the United States, but they told me it wasn't possible. These are your heater controls. If you press this up and down expand button, you get a few more controls, basically the airflow. You can change the heater from Fahrenheit to Celsius. And then these are all your typical controls. Many of these are duplicated by controls here. Basically your mode is identified here. So I'm in auto, you could turn it off. And then AC is turned on. Dual control means that I can have separate left and right controls, which is a factory feature. And you can manually override the fan control. It goes up to 7. It's connected to the car's CAN bus, so it can identify when a door is open and which door is open. I just opened the driver's door, which is kind of cool. This is just the display. There's nothing I can do with that. It's from the clock. Music is an app to play music that you've downloaded. So this is music from your media card. So the radio app tunes the radio tuner in the unit. And one of my first frustrations with this unit is that the radio reception is not great. And I don't know if that's because Infiniti uses a factory amplified antenna system, or if it's a problem with the receiver, but I can get decent local FM reception and my AM reception is really non-existent. I can tune to a local station, which I know is very strong in the area, and I get nothing. One thing that I never notice when I'm driving, but I can notice if I'm sitting here in the car without the engine running, is when you have the sound on, you can hear a small amount of noise from the amplifiers. Now this car has a factory Bose stereo, and I don't know if that's part of the integration with the Bose. It doesn't bother me at all, but I definitely hear just a tiny bit of background noise from the amplifier. These are the pages where you can start defining the apps, and some of these are things that I put on here, and other things are things that are part of the factory unit. Since I'm already using Apple Music on my other devices, I put the Apple Music app. It works pretty good, but sometimes it will launch and then crash. Unfortunately, I can't play my featuring Ludacris playlist for you because I'll get a copyright strike, but whatever you have on Apple Music, you're able to get here, minus the few glitchy errors with the crash. So Z-Link is an app that emulates Apple CarPlay. If you've used Apple CarPlay, you can see the apps that are on your iPhone, and you can interact with them. I'm not going to interact with most of these because they all have personal data on them, but you can play music directly from your phone. You can look at Google Maps or Apple Maps. You can play your podcasts. I've never used it, but Telegram, WhatsApp, Line, and Zoom all have compatible apps, and you can make and receive phone calls. The one thing I would say about the hands-free feature on this radio, and the microphones are right here, is I haven't had really good reports from people I've talked to about the audio quality from my side of the call. So I don't think there's any adjustments for that, but people I've talked to don't seem to be really happy with the call quality when I'm talking to them, so I really haven't used hands-free much on this unit. Down here in the corner, this store bow TPMS is a tire pressure management system. That's not part of the system I bought. It's an add-on. But what it does is it gives you 4 sensors. I don't know why they don't give you a 5th for your spare tire. And you can see your tire pressure on all 4 tires. You can also set alarms, which I've set for temperature and pressure. So if my pressure goes below 26 pounds per square inch, or my temperature goes over 122 Fahrenheit, even if I'm not in the app will alarm me to let me know that I have a problem, which I think is a really good feature for cars that don't have built-in factory tire pressure management. Calculator is a calculator. Setting is the settings for all of the Android functions. Wi-Fi. The other thing I will say is my Wi-Fi reception isn't extremely good in this car. I have a pretty advanced wireless access point that's just behind my garage wall, and I can get it really good with my phone. This struggles to get it. I have put a wireless repeater on the garage ceiling directly above just so I can get good Wi-Fi to the car. But this is where you adjust your wireless settings, and then here's some other settings. One thing I will say, if you install this thing, you will get no sound out of a Bose system unless you turn this amp switch on. Power conditioning is like how much you're going to drive the amp. I think I talked about that in the last video. There's all kinds of other settings. Most of them have to do with how the unit interacts with the car. This setting, so 3368 is the password. I was given that by the vendor because I needed to change something. I don't think I've used it since. I'm sure there's a reason why it's protected, so be careful with that. Some other Android passwords or settings. Anyhow, some of these I think are standard Android settings, and some of them are specific to the car. Easy Connection is a way for you to mirror your phone screen on the car. I don't know why you would want to do that necessarily, but I suppose if you wanted to play a video clip or show a picture that was on your phone, that would be a quick way to do it. Video player is like a generic video player. Music player is the same. It's a music player to play music files from a USB stick. And then Chrome is the browser. I don't use it that often, but sometimes I'm sitting here in the garage, I want to look something up. So Car Info is supposed to replace the settings that you originally had on the amber screen on the factory system. And when you look at vehicle settings, some of these things I'm able to select, like this one I can't. Well, the car ignition is turned off, so let's try that. So I can adjust this setting and lift steering wheel column, which I don't like. Selective door unlock, won't select. Keyless response horn. So that was turned off on my car before I changed it, and then I reset this system. So now every time I lock the car, I get the horn. There's no way for me to change that, I think, without putting the other system back in. So I would suggest that you set everything the way you want it before you take out your factory system. This setting works. I don't really use automatic headlights because I don't drive a lot at night, and I don't like them coming on every time I come in the garage. But this Restore Factory Settings button, if you push that button, you're going to get the factory defaults, which may not be what you want. And like I said, this keyless response horn, which I wish I could turn off, I have no way to do. So this is that little menu system that was in your factory car, or in your factory system. TPMS, I don't know what that's connected to because I don't use it. And car CD, I think this is if you had the system maybe with the factory DVD player. This car didn't have it, that you could control that. And this car info, I assume it works. I don't know. It's a little bit of information. So steering wheel control is where you define what you want your steering wheel buttons to do. The only buttons on my car that you can adjust are the volume up and down button, the mode button, and what I use for the track up and down button. And what you do is you hold a button and then you select what you want it to do. So that's the volume down, that's the volume up and volume down. And then mode, I'm going to set to operate the assistant. And then track up, I want the track to go forward. Track down, I want the track to go back. And now when I adjust on my steering wheel, the volume up, it goes up. And when I adjust the volume down, it goes down. And when I press the mode button on my car, you can see that the digital assistant is listening to me. Gallery is a photo viewer. Equalizer is to adjust the equalization on the car stereo, and there are several different options there that you can adjust. Navigation is for you to set up a default navigation app. So I could say I want Google Maps to be my default application. And then once you set that, from the home page, you'll be able to select navigation and it'll go directly to Google Apps or Google Maps. One of the things I bought when I installed this system was this little blue dongle. It's a Bluetooth OBD scanner, and it plugs into your car's service port, which is under the dash, and it'll send information to the car. Now, this was much more complicated than it should have been to set up. I had to go into the Bluetooth setting and pair the device, but first I had to delete all the other devices. I've tried 2 different apps. This OBD Auto Doctor is the one that I can get to work. So I've reinstalled the little dongle I showed you, and I hit this link button to tell the software to connect to the dongle. And now it's showing the engine RPM. If I was moving, it would show the speed. And let's see if it shows you the... And if I had trouble codes, I'd be able to see that there were trouble codes, but right now I don't, and reset them. If someone knows of a better app, let me know. This one has a lot of paid features. If you know of a free app or one that I can buy inexpensively that gives me this functionality perpetually, then I'd be very interested in that. So first I'll talk about why I think you might want to do this. If you like the sort of the updated look, that's a great sort of benefit of this system. If you want to do any of the add-on features that you can't get in the factory car, like the tire pressure management system, or if you decide to do a camera or multiple camera setup, or if you want to do something really wacky like my SDR software-defined radio setup, those are all great reasons why this might be for you. Now, if you want something that is refined and simple and perfectly integrated with the factory vehicle, this might not be for you. As I mentioned, the audio quality, especially on the receiving side of the calls, is not great with this. There are some of the factory vehicle menu integrations that don't work correctly with this, and the FM and AM radio reception aren't nearly as good as the factory system. You should think about this before you decide to do this. It's potentially an expensive upgrade, and I just want you to understand what you're getting and what you're giving up if you decide to do something like this. I appreciate you staying with me, and especially how many people have watched these videos. It's really touching to see that people are interested in what I'm doing here. So thanks again, and I hope to see you in another video.